Today we are tying a fore and aft dry fly. What you see is my father's original recipe card, and on the back he has remarks that it's good at night when you can't see what the trout are feeding on. What I have in the vise is a size 12 2 extra long shank from Risen Fly Fishing. This is my last hook in the pack, so I better make it count. Here is an actual fly my father tied 50 years ago, rather weathered and beat up, but it's the best example in his old fly box. And this is a fly I just tied following his recipe card. The thread I'm going to use is a Danville 140 denier, and the color is cream. And start your thread on behind the eye. Give it several wraps back forward. Cut away your tag end along the way. Wrap it back to the bend of the hook, and then forward and then back again, parking your thread just beyond the point of the hook. You can see I gave it a little dab of paraffin wax just to help hold the hair. A substitution I made from the original recipe is I'm using bull elk hair instead of deer hair. Since the hair is a little longer with the elk, I found it a little easier to work with. And you want to take a medium-sized clump about the width of your finger or so. Comb all the extra fluff out of it, put it in your large deer hair stacker, and stack the tips. And pull out the elk hair from the stacker with the tips facing toward the rear of the fly, and remove any short hairs and comb out any excess fluff. And by removing the short hairs and combing out the fluff, you'll reduce your stacked hair by about half. And now take your clump of stacked hair and cut the butt ends even. I noticed that the tips of the elk hair had come uneven as I was prepping it, so I threw it back in the stacker to restack it. And now you can lay your elk hair on top of the shank of the hook. You want your tips to extend past the bend of the hook about 1/4 shank. And grasping the tips firmly, wrap your thread around the elk hair and pulling tightly. This is just the opposite of what you would do when you would tie in a tail for a normal dry fly. You want these tips to splay out as much as you can make them. And now stroke the butt end sections of the elk hair forward and wrap your thread toward the eye, capturing the elk hair as you go. And on the first wrap, you want to use minimal thread pressure, just enough to capture the hair. And when you get to the front, right behind the eye of the hook, give it more thread pressure in order to splay out the elk hair. Make sure you do not crowd the eye of the hook. And when you get to the front, give your elk hair several wraps and wrap in through the actual hair a couple of times and park your thread right behind your front section. And now you want to stroke all your butt end sections forward and cut them to length. The length you cut your front section should be somewhat equal to the rear section of the fly. Now wrap your thread back toward the rear of the fly, giving it more thread pressure than your previous wrap, and then wrap your thread forward, giving it even more thread pressure this time. At this point, I'm using my half hitch tool to expose the eye of the hook, making it easier to finish. Take your thread and wrap it up through the hackle to the front of the fly and give it a few thread wraps. You want to build yourself a small head and give it a few whips with your whip finishing tool and cut away your thread. And now you can stroke your butt ends back forward, dressing up the fly. If you see any stragglers, go ahead and snip them away. You want to try to keep your butt ends as even as you can. And now I'm going to use an eraser to splay out the hair on the rear of the fly. I found using an eraser a little easier to help splay the tail section out, rather than sticking my fingers in there and matting all the hair up. At this point, I'm just dressing the fly up for the camera. Essentially, you're done. Now it's fishable. All you want to do is add a little head cement, something like Sally Hansen's or super glue, whatever you like to use. And once you dress it up, you're done. And if you like these videos and videos like it, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like on the video and give me a comment. Let me know what you like or what you don't like. This fly floats great and is a great searcher pattern, as my father stated on the back of his index card, for when you're not really sure what they're rising for, but the fish are rising. Alright, be safe out there. Have a good day. Go catch some fish. And stay tuned for a few more videos coming your way.